Welcome to MAAWG 28 in Vienna, Austria. I'm Alex Bobotek, Co-Chairman of MAAWG, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Wolfgang Schwabl, who is an Information Security and Emergency Group Director at Telekom Austria. Welcome, Wolfgang.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for inviting me as a representative of the Telekom Austria Group to your interesting conference. Maybe should I introduce a little bit shortly Telekom Austria Group. We are a group of 8 operators operating in 8 countries, having about 23 million customers. But because you're in Austria, let me talk a little bit more about Austria. Here in Austria, we are the incumbent operator. We have about 2.3 million customers fixed line and about 6 million customers with mobile services. And of course, we suffer from malware, we suffer from cyber incidents. We know all the stories, and probably we talk a little bit what we do against it or what we could do against it.
Very interested in that, Wolfgang. In our lunch earlier, we talked about how some of the threats we face are very similar. We have a global set of attacks, essentially, but there were some key differences in the ways you deal with them. Could you tell us a bit about that? How do you respond to some of the abuse that you find? How do you detect it and respond to it?
I think the first what we do is, if we detect that there is abuse among their own customers, we have to protect all the other customers and the rest of the world. That means if we identify spammers among our customers, we try to isolate them. We do that in an automatic way. That means if we detect that there are several addresses connected on TCP level to port 25, for example, then we block these ports for this special customer. We don't do it permanently. We do it just on a short term. That means we block him for 24 hours, and then afterwards he gets released. Usually he will then contact the help desk and ask us, and then we inform him, yes, your PC might be infected, please clean it up, and then we give you free access to the internet again. I think it is very effective if we switch this on. Let us talk a little bit about numbers. We identify daily about 10 ppm of the customers. That means 10 parts per million. That means about 50, 60 customers a day. And I hope that is a contribution to reduce spam in the world, at least spam that's going out from our customers.
That's interesting. Do you find the same customers getting reinfected?
We find different phases. That means some of the customers are aware and thankful that we inform them that they are infected by malware, and then they clean their PCs and they are happy about it. We also see that other customers are a little bit reluctant on that, and it's a question how to deal with them. It's an open question, and we don't have the right answer on that.
Well, I don't think you're alone there. One of the that's a hot topic these days. What are the best practices for dealing with an infected computer? One that we've heard many voices on.
I think the question is also who is responsible. I think it's a little bit. Let me compare that with the car industry, or if you have a car. Yeah? If you have a car, it must be safe if you drive at the road. And once you detect if it's not safe anymore, it starts to threaten other car drivers and pedestrians. And that's the point where we have to think about and discuss about whether we should allow them to participate in the traffic. I mean, if we do it in a staged approach, first inform the customer, be friendly to him, give him advice how you can make your PC more secure, and then we should make a staged approach in the next one if he is reluctant on doing any improvement on safeness. Then we should have a better way. Probably we prolong his blocking access to the internet, and on the long run we must convince the customers either to do it by himself or that he should buy a professional service from a third party or by us. But On the long run, we must convince them that it is a common effort, part taken by the customer and part taken by the operator to become the internet cleaner in this way, free of malware, free of bad messages that are circulating around.
A cooperative health effort, it seems to be, keeping the internet clean. What do you do when you find infections outside your network and other problems outside your network?
That depends very much. That depends very much on the case. Let me talk about serious cases of malware, for example, where we had infections together with banks. For example, banks become a victim, or customers become victims of Trojans that try to figure out their TANs and other credentials for online banking. And there are clever Trojans out there, for example, that are on the website and on the PC and even in the smartphone, and they work together so that the criminals can get the TAN codes of the victims, and then they get the money of the victims. And in this case, and we really had this case already in Austria, we cooperate closely with the banking industries and with the banks so that we can inform our customers without violating the data protection obligation that we have for them, of course, that they should contact their bank help desk in order to secure their account, because we know that they are infected.
So you contact the customer.
We contact the customer, but we ask then the customer and recommend him that he shall contact his bank. We cannot give the customer details to the bank, of course.
Yes. Well, I think we certainly respect, I think one thing we have in common is the respect for our customers' privacy.
I think this is one of the issues that we see also in Austria. It's still one of the problems. If we face an attack from the cyberspace, how can we share among professionals the information about the attack without violating the data protection rights? Of course, the individuals have these rights, but on the other hand, we have to share these information in order to work better and more closely together, and we must think about how we can this do in a legal way.
I've felt that many people feel that transparency and consent of the consumer really have to be the foundation of this sharing, at the foundation of this sharing. How do you accomplish that? How do you get the consent and inform your customers what you're doing with the data?
First of all, we inform every customer what we do with this data. So that is from the day when he's signing the contract, there's clearly written black on white what we do with his data, for which purposes we store it, what we do with it, and so on. And even he has the right in Austria at any time to contact us and ask, give me all the details that you have stored about me, and we have to answer such requests. So whatever we do with customer data, the customer is informed from the beginning, and data protection is a fairly strong law in Austria.
Very, very interesting. Can you tell us how does the consumer benefit from this? Can you tell us of some examples, or give us some more concrete examples of how your subscribers are benefiting from your security actions and practices?
I think he can trust in a let me say, more secure internet in the way that we take care about all the customers. He can trust on that if he has a service that we can protect his service. He can subscribe for additional security measures that is offered as an option. I think this is of some value that we can give to the customer, and probably Austria is not so in the focus of the international malware industry than other countries, and probably this together contributes to a safer internet in Austria.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us. It's interesting to hear how you're leading in keeping the internet safe for your customers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.